Beautiful day out here in Arizona. What is going on, Wholesale to Freedom family? Today I wanted to bring you guys a really cool video. Actually took a little bit of time, and also a gentleman I'm going to show you a video took a little bit of time out of his day to allow me to go ahead and interview him. And the reason why I did this interview for you guys is mainly because he's a person that is doing very well and he's doing very obtainable numbers. I know we hear a lot of people that are maybe doing 15, 20 deals a month. This gentleman is only doing 4 to 7 deals per month, and he is netting some big dollars, keeping his buyers happy, and also continuing to grow his business just by doing that. So I wanted to go ahead and shoot this, go ahead and do this interview for you guys. So get ready for it. It's coming up next. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. We're going to do a little bit more vlog style in the next video because I got some changes for you guys. Gotta let you know what recently happened. So have a good day, guys. Enjoy. All right, perfect. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Wholesale to Freedom family. Just want to let you guys know we got a special guest here. We got my buddy Ron on today out of Houston, Texas. I mean, this dude's doing big, big things. So I wanted to go ahead and introduce you guys to him, mainly because he's doing something that's very attainable. And I think everyone can go ahead and develop a good aspiration and want to be just like him. So Ron, how you doing today, man?
What's going on, brother? How are you guys? What's going on, Wholesale to Freedom world? How y'all doing today? I'm doing very well. We've got some rainy storms. Actually, exactly 1 year ago, we had Hurricane Harvey, which swallowed the entire city almost. It was
crazy, man.
A few days ago, and now we're getting storms. So we're like, ooh, you know, I don't. Everyone's kind of just, you know, bracing forward. But I mean, we had freeways where it was just like you couldn't tell if it was a Pacific Ocean or it was a freeway. You know, I-10. It was insane, man. You know, and we were out there helping people. I remember when it happened. A lot of my family members were affected by it. We couldn't go nowhere. The city was shut down. But you know, we are a resilient city. You know, hashtag Houston strong, baby. So
definitely,
man.
Man.
Absolutely.
That's good, man. That's good. We don't have that much water in Arizona, so no water at all out here.
Yeah, I noticed.
No water at all. No water at all. Well, I know, kind of like being a year ago, I know a lot of things changed for you in probably about the last year or two. So kind of talk to me about that, kind of like how you found wholesaling, what got you started, and what motivated you.
All right. So, you know, I've always wanted to invest in real estate because I knew real estate was a great way to build wealth for myself, my family, and my children. You know, it's all about leaving a legacy, right? And whenever someone kind of gets into this business, you know, every time I like to talk to somebody, I like to ask them, you know, what is your why? I'm big on my why. You know, I have 2 boys, you know, and they're growing, ages 6 and 3. It was a big motivating factor when I started, you know, wholesaling, but I always wanted to get into it. Some of my background is I come from the car industry. So I was in the car business for 11 years. That's a long time.
Too long.
Too
long.
Yeah. So I got in it when I was real young, kind of, you know, out of, getting into, you know, out of high school into college, and it paid for my education. It provided me a fantastic lifestyle, you know, but like they say, you're either time poor or you're money poor. You know, you either have one or the other. I was actually time poor. You know, I wasn't able to spend time with my children. You know, the hours, I was spending 14 hours a day at the dealership. You know, it's kind of like, you know, they say once you move up the corporate ladder, things start getting better. That is the biggest lie you'll ever hear in your life.
I agree. I completely agree with you, man.
I started out in sales. I became a sales manager. But when I was a sales manager, I was working, you know, almost double the hours, going from, you know, 7 a.m. coming home at 10, 11 p.m. And just babysitting adults. That's just what it is, you know. And it wasn't really something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was done with the car business. It has taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of things that I brought into, you know, the real estate business, such as building rapport and negotiating, which are some of the top 2 hardest things to ever do, you know. So, and I train car salespeople how to do that. So if you can train car salespeople how to do that, you'll be all right.
Oh yeah, I think car sales are definitely. I did car sales for like 6 months. I couldn't last. Like it's tough, man. Like
It is
it's
tough.
really tough, really, really tough. And I got in the mortgage industry. So, but I really appreciate that your why, because that's kind of something I bring to a lot of people that come to ask me, hey, why do I want to get into wholesale? Like, give me the why, not because you want to chase a dollar, right? But kind of what the long term is, because we can all chase a dollar. I can get a dollar right now doing anything, but how long will that dollar be able to last me? I think that's very important. I'm glad you touched on
No,
that.
and I agree. And, you know, the biggest thing that I tell people is your why has to be larger than your excuses, because there's going to come a time where you're going to say, I don't feel like doing this, or I don't feel like going out putting bandit signs. I don't feel like driving for a dollar. You know, that's when your why comes into play, because guess what? You're going to have to put food on your plate, you know, and I'll tell you what, man, children are a fantastic motivating factor, to be honest. So I got to give the credit, you know, to my wife and kids, and it's all about a lifestyle, you know, especially this business. You don't do it just for the you know, the money or anything like that. It's just got to be a bigger purpose, you know. If you see behind me, this is our wall of vacations. So we like to take a lot of vacations, and you know, we got to go to Disney World. We spent 18 days at Disney World. By the second day, I was tired of Mickey Mouse.
Bless your heart.
That's when you have kids, right? And this business is able to afford you a lifestyle that is unimaginable. When I was in the car industry, I wasn't thinking about taking, you know, 2 weeks off, gonna go see Hogwarts and Harry Potter, or going to the Caribbean. We love traveling. We love cruising a lot, so we cruise every year. And we took a land vacation, which was our last one, and every 6 months, I kind of have that dosage. My wife's like, "Isn't it time to go on vacation?" I was like, yeah.
Dude, I get kids are a huge motivator, man. I have four myself, and just had twins a year and a half ago. So my twins are probably the biggest of the motivators right now, because you got two at the same time doing the exact same thing and eating the exact same amount of food and everything, man. So that's super huge, man. And traveling is a blessing, man. Most people, I think, don't realize just taking that a little bit of time off makes a huge difference, man. Makes a huge
It refreshes
difference.
you, you know. It refreshes you, because we're working 24/7. I don't have a schedule in my business, and that's something that I want to touch base on with when someone who's starting out new. You know, I see a lot of these people on groups say, "Hey, should I do from 9 to 4, or should I do from, you know, 12 to 3?" No, you do it whenever and any time possible. To be honest, because I'm working at 3 a.m. You know, and I'm working at 3 p.m. You know, I'm either putting bandit signs out, which a lot of people know me for that here in the Houston market. I love doing bandit signs. I don't need to put them out. I can, you know, I have a team that I have as far as scalability goes, but that's just to keep me grounded, right? It's so funny, no pun intended. But, you know, I'll go out there and pop them out, and yeah, you know, it's that blood flow and the hustle, you know what I mean? So a lot of people tell me, you know, you need to fire yourself, or you need to do that. Yes, I understand all that. I've read all the books and E-Myth Revisited, and, you know, work on your business, not in your business. But, you know, I'm a tough cookie, man. Car sales has molded me to where, you know, if I'm not hustling, you know, this business is so weird. Like, you don't have to work a lot of hours to make a ton of money, right?
Yeah.
You can literally work an hour and a half and make a couple $1,000 or even double digits. But I'm just, the way I'm getting these deals is I'm constantly going out there. I'm looking for deals. If I'm, you know, driving for dollars, whatever I'm doing, I'm always looking for a deal. If I run into my local postman, you know, hey, you know, that's actually a great golden nugget right there, guys. You mind if I share a golden nugget with your viewers?
Please do. Go ahead.
Okay. So whenever you see your local postman, approach them, tell them you aren't purchasing homes, and give them an incentive. You know, I literally pay up to, depending on the deal, I have paid somebody $4,300. So I would say about 5,000. You know, my limit is about 5,000. That's a lot of money for a referral. But say, hey, you know, I'll go ahead and, you know, if you see a vacant property, because these guys know their areas. You talk to a mailman, and they know who's home and who's not home, because they see that mailbox pile of letters, right? So I have found deals like that, and some of those deals are some of those deals are my most lucrative deals, actually. So that's a great golden nugget, is talk to your local postman and give them an incentive. Each deal you bring me and I close on it, I'll pay you $1,000. I'll pay you $1,500, $2,000. So they've it definitely works out. let me show you something. And I'm not doing this to boast, but I actually got one of these deals just like that. And let me go ahead and show that to you guys. This
Let's
was
see it.
about a couple, yep. This was about a 2.5 hour worth of check right here.
Dude, that's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's how you do it.
You know, we gotta. I haven't even cashed it yet, so I don't even know if I want to, but I'm gonna have to eventually.
Yeah, that thing expires. I
ain't
want to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And
the diapers ain't cheap, so I gotta cash them somehow.
I think that's a really good golden nugget that you shared, man, because I think a lot of people they don't like to take advantage of what's around them. You know, there's a lot of people that maybe drive for a living. That there's a lot of people that maybe just know a neighborhood they've lived in for years and years and years. It's like, hey, if you happen to see something, let me know. If it closes, I'll pay you. Like, and it's just that easy. And they'll start looking at their neighborhood differently because now you're handing them a couple $1,000s in checks consistently, and they're happy. They're happy.
Absolutely. If you're walking with anything over 10,000, do not feel shy of giving a $2,000 referral. It's little money for a great reward. It's not a lot of, of course there's a lot of effort, but they're the ones who are doing the effort. They're finding the property. All we're doing is skip tracing and finding the owner. Sometimes if I see a vacant property, I'll stick a bandit sign right on the lawn. And guess who's calling me? The homeowner.
The guy that comes by. That's a good one. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. So, they call me and, I apologize. My crew, I'm so sorry. Let me come out there and pick that sign up myself. And sure enough, I go out there. Are you selling the property? I was thinking about it. Boom. There you go. So you got a direct link to the homeowner. That's the best way to find that.
That's 2 nuggets in one right there.
There's a lot to come. So you guys have to stay tuned to the end of this video, and we're going to be dropping bombs like crazy. I mean, just from this video, you'll probably be able to do a deal from the nuggets. I guarantee you guys that.
Dude, I'm excited, man. I think people will really appreciate that because personally, I have a lot of little people that are contacting me. They're like, hey, I'm just very getting started. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I had a guy contact me. He was like 7 days in. I was like, whoa, like, I didn't think I could touch someone like that, and being able to touch someone at that early is great because I'm going to send him this video and be like, hey, this is what you need to do. From the guy doing, you're doing like 6-7 deals a month?
Yeah. So we're averaging about 4 to 6 deals a month.
Nice.
Last month we closed 7 deals. So
nice.
I've got to up my number there, but it's such a blessing. I'm in the Houston market, so I'm going to put a shameless plug out there if you don't mind. Anyone who's watching this in the Houston market who would like to JV with me, feel free to give me a shout. And I'm always working with brand new wholesalers. We did a deal last month with a wholesaler, brought me a deal. He actually locked in a contract. He didn't know what, basically, he did the hardest part, right? Locking in the deal, locking in the contract. So although he locked it in at a higher price, I was able to go back in and renegotiate the contract.
Nice.
That was the assignment fee on that deal was about 12,000 or some change. So he was able to make some money on his first wholesale deal. But yeah, if you guys are in the Houston market, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm on Facebook, and definitely we'll be able to help you guys out. And I don't charge people for the mentoring. I don't do the $50,000 mentorship programs. I don't do the $1,000, $2,000 mentorship. I don't believe in that, guys. Listen, I've spent that type of money with other people with little to minimum result. My thing is, if you're gonna learn from me, we're gonna learn by doing a deal together, because you won't know how to handle a deed issue on a title if you haven't gone through it yet. So I'm a firm believer, and this is my way of giving back to everybody in the community, is earning while you're learning. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. And, I really love that, because I think I mentioned it to you when we had a phone call last week. As a friend of mine, he wants to learn about it. I mean, I'm not going to charge him anything, but we're going to do a deal together. We're going to walk through everything. We're going to go through all the steps. This way he learns everything. Obviously, I'm going to get paid part of that deal for doing the heart, being the brains of it, but he's going to get the majority of it. Like, that's just the way it is. Yeah. And then he's going to learn, and he's going to go off by himself. And then he's going to do what he needs to do to be successful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing too. When you're in this business, I like to ask people, in the beginning, what's bigger, your ego or your bank account? A lot of these new wholesalers, they walk in with an ego.
Yep.
I'm gonna do the deal on my own. And next thing you know, the homeowner is going into foreclosure because you weren't able to help them out eventually. So, I would tell them to put your ego to your side and start actually asking for help, because that's a powerful word. Can you help me? When I started out, even till this day, I have mentors in the real estate realm who level me up, and the best thing that they tell me is, is ask for help. And I do it every day. I really do. Either it's asking for help on a deal or asking for help on a personal matter. I mean, everyone's always willing to help you out in this day and age. So, and the internet is so powerful. You can go out there and read a lot about wholesaling or real estate investing, but once you're in a deal, that's the only time you're going to learn. And that's what happened to me. I was reading the books and I did the seminars and I paid the 50, 60 grand to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But that didn't stop me because I believed in it, right? I believed in the business. I believed in myself first and foremost. If I could make it in that type of industry that I was in, it's very cutthroat and dry, the car industry itself. So, but if you can, if you believe in yourself, you'll be able to make it in this business. So keep your ego at the door. When you're doing deals with me, I don't care how big you are, how small you are. At the end of the day, we are going to the closing table, and that's all I care about. I'm a numbers guy. That's all it is. I'm a volume guy.
Dude, that's really huge, man. Like, ego to the side, I think, is probably the biggest thing. I mean, I literally talked to a guy that's been in the industry since like '89. He's a realtor. He understands the ins and outs. I probably talk to him 3 to 4 times a day, just bouncing stuff off his hand. I mean, I even have friends that are lawyers that I have to talk to about legal advice. Like, there's always, you need to reach out for people because you don't know everything. And I think that's really important. A lot of people just assume they know everything, and then it never works out well for them, because they end up putting, as you mentioned, someone in a bad situation where it's pre-foreclosure. They expect to have their house sold, and then it forecloses. And then now you have someone emotionally kind of distraught, not just your money out of your pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know the acronym for assume, right?
Yeah, I know. I say it to people all the time, and they're like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, you'll get it."
All right, good stuff.
I know 100%, man. So, what does your business look like right now? I guess is kind of the most important thing. Since you've been doing it, you're consistent. You're doing the business well. What's your business look like at this point?
So it is absolutely fantastic right now, and I intend it for it to stay that way. So our next steps in the business will be, I think, at a larger scalability model. So, of course, I've got to really get to, I'm to a point right now where I've got to start firing myself from different duties and, minuscule activities and stuff like that, where, as far as babysitting the deal itself. My wife helps me out a lot. She's actually, dispositions and the back end with title companies and kind of stuff like that. So we do it full time together. So spousal support is very, very important in this business. So if you got a spouse, get them on board. It's going to alleviate 99.999% of your headaches.
Yeah, especially if they like it, man. I don't know if my spouse was kind of like a little skeptical about the business when I first got into it, just because she didn't understand it. I've always been the salesperson, and she's always been kind of the normal 9-to-5 person. Did you kind of feel that same way with you and your wife also?
We've been married for about 8 years now, and I've been blessed enough to, she trusted me, right? So when I quit the car business, I wasn't doing deals. I wasn't doing deals like I am right now.
Oh.
And by all means, I don't tell people to quit your job and go into this full time. I actually went cold turkey into real estate. So I didn't have a deal. I just got sick to my stomach one day, and I was just done. I was sick to my stomach for a long time because, you just know it in your gut feeling whenever you go into something and you're not there for a purpose. It's just not your cup of tea anymore. You just feel sick to your stomach, in other words. So I wasn't feeling it. I was done with the car industry. That was pretty much it. So we had to sit down really and kind of talk about it. And she supported me. She said, I support you. I believe in our dreams and our, goals. And I'm so, thankful to the Lord, right? Thankful to God that I was able to get this type of support. So, and I believed in myself and she believed in me, and I couldn't let her down because she believes in our dreams and our goals and stuff like that. So in 2 weeks, I found my first deal. So you can get your first deal, guys. Trust me. Just put your mind to it. And yeah, I got my first deal, and it was a pocket listing from a realtor. I started popping the MLS. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, is this property going to work out? No. Do you have anything else? Sure enough, a realtor called me and said, hey, I've got a property that I can't put on the MLS. Do you want it? Yeah, let's go. So,
that's you got lucky on that one. I'll say that for sure. That's like rare, man. But the thing is, you were after it. I mean, your mindset changed. I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't realize is once your mindset changes, there's doors open. You're like, wow, I didn't realize that property was wholesalable, or I didn't realize this was available or that was available.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it was in an undesirable part of town. And you talk about all the negative stuff that can go wrong with the damn deal. Everything was going wrong, man. You know, we had deed issues, we had title issues, we had encumbrances. I learned a lot on my first deal that I did in any deal. And like they say, when you do your first deal, everything else gets smoother and smoother and smoother. And that's true. You get to, as time goes on, you know, you get to learn about different things that are, you know, especially in regards to closing the deal and with title and stuff like that. So it just takes you one deal. After one deal, you kind of, you know, and you create that snowball effect, and you go out there and you network, right? I'm a huge networker. I attend every single networking event in my city. I try to be in front of people, especially when I started out. You know, just want to be in front of people and tell them, hey, I'm here now, you know, stuff like that. Kind of like I have arrived type of deal. So now, you know, I walk into the room. I'm pretty blessed where I don't need to introduce myself. A lot of people, you build a reputation in your community. Houston is very large, right? We've got 6+ million people in the city, but our real estate community is so small. You know, it takes you a long time to build a great reputation. It takes you 2 seconds to dissolve it, you know? So you've got to make sure you guys are doing some good stuff out there. Wholesalers do have a lot of bad rap. Yeah, it does. It happens, guys. Yeah, absolutely. It does. But it's up to you to, you know, change your paradigm. Like you just said, I think it's more of a paradigm shift, right? You change your mindset, and people will see that, and it goes on from there. You know, you kind of skyrocket from there. But networking is key also. That's a golden nugget number. How many did I give so far? 3, 2?
Well, that's 3 right there.
That's 3.
Number 3.
Golden nugget number 3 is networking events. Okay. You have to tell people you are a wholesaler. They will look at you like you're freaking Tom Cruise, like you're a movie star. Yeah.
And, you know what? And I agree with you, man, because I think a lot of people kind of get afraid. And I think you probably see it, and I see it very often, is people are afraid to tell other maybe like buyers what they do. They're like, hey, should I tell them I'm an investor? Should I tell them I'm a buyer? Should I tell them I'm this? Just tell them what you are. Like they're gonna find out. It's no secret. If you say, hey, I'm wholesaling this deal to you, they'll be like, okay, cool. They know what's going into it. Everything is, you've already broken down the wall. But I think too many people kind of try to beat around the bush sometimes, you know. When
building, you know, building rapport works both ways. So remember that. Golden nugget number 4. Building rapport with your sellers is important. But what's more important is building rapport with your buyers. I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind and everyone else's mind. Are you ready for it?
Ready. Let's go.
I never double close.
That's good.
Last month we had a $37,500 deal. Didn't double close. You know, we had 16,000 deals going down. Didn't double close. We had a $21,500 deal go down. Didn't double close. That's because I built relationships with my buyers. And I'm transparent with them. Hey, this is what I'm making on the deal. If you got a problem with it, you know, maybe you might want to edit this part out, but go pound sand. I got other buyers. But no, realistically, guys, build relationships with your buyers. They're not going to have fun with it. They'll enjoy it. If they're making money on the deal, they don't care what you're making. It's just what it is.
Yep. And I think that's good. I have a really good buyer myself also that he literally said, hey, he actually didn't even, I gave him the address of the house. He didn't even care about getting under contract. He said, just go get it under contract and then send me the price of what it is. And I was like, I was blown away. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me, man. We all got to make money, right? And I'm like, I appreciate that because you could have, I gave you the address and everything. You could have undercut me. But I think it's very important is to build a trustworthy buyers list and also just be upfront with them too at the same time. Because I think once you start kind of trying to beat around the bush, then that's when you kind of lose their trust, you know, which is not good. Not good at all. Not you want them to come back. You want them to come back for you, man. Want them to come back. So
Absolutely. And that's one other thing too. You want to be in the business of repeat business. That's huge.
Oh yeah. If they can come back to you, you don't have to look. You already know, hey, I got X deal, and I know John is going to buy this deal before you even start moving it, which is awesome, because then it's the hard part's done. You know, you get all that
Deals
little
sell
stuff done.
themselves. The deals sell themselves. That's just the bottom.
Oh yeah.
The deal will sell itself. So you just have the right buyers for it, and that's that.
Now with your business right now, I know you said removing yourself from a lot of the different things that you're doing, a lot of nuances. I guess kind of maybe talk about the little nuances that you're maybe moving yourself out of, the little things that you're trying to kind of scale back on to be able to grow a little bit bigger.
Sure, yeah. So, as far as scalability goes, it's important that, you've got sometimes when you're doing, a few deals a month, you can get real caught up with title issues. Then you got to go back and forth with title and this and that. And then, then there's sometimes issue, I'm the type of guy who likes to do everything from data entry, everything, right? So, as far as scaling back on, I might, I hired a VA in the beginning, but, I noticed that they didn't do such a good job that I wanted them to do, because I had that hustle that in other words, VAs are great, but if my VA is not in the same climate as my seller, they can't build rapport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's to say, I'm not saying don't hire a VA. Do that in the beginning, and see and test it out. You got to find the right VA and stuff like that. So, but yeah, if you're a VA watching this you're watching this video, hit me up. You want to make a lot of money, give me a call.
Yeah, I think there are some good VAs out there, but I think you have to unfortunately go through a lot of them to be able to get that one that you want, just because you're going to have that mindset and they might not necessarily catch on to that mindset. Are you using VAs right now or no?
No, I had to get rid of them. Yeah, I had to get rid of them quick. So, especially with phone calls and stuff like that, you've got to qualify the buyer. I'm doing all of that. So,
okay.
I'm qualifying the buyer. I don't got time to sit there for an hour to, talk to a seller unless they're really, really motivated. You know what I mean? So a lot of people just call. We will get tire kickers. You guys will get tire kickers and say, hey, how much are you offering me for this house? Are you going to offer me $1 million? Come on, man. You're investors. This is, we're trying to help you out in your situation. So there's a lot of tire kickers out there, and people will waste their time, but you've got to start weeding them out. And just like I said, fire yourself from the little nuances. And, that's why you hire people. You hire people to do this type of stuff. And if you're making money, I would do it quick. And that's where I'm at right now. So we're definitely getting there. And I'm going to be hiring between I would say about 3 to 5 acquisition guys. We're looking to scale this on a larger, big deal now. So, in other words, turn it into an entire wholesale outlet. So we'll have, acquisition guys, HR department, our managers and all that good stuff. So we're getting to that point now. And that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Are you planning on going outside of Houston then? Or outside of Texas, I guess, would be – That
is a great question, man. So I have been approached to do that for right now, and I think for the time being, the reason why I have gotten so successful is because I have laser focused on my city. I don't wholesale in Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Waco, Lake Charles, Louisiana. I just don't. Houston is such a big market, and there's so much cheese that's in the city. I don't need to go anywhere. So I don't have any plans to go out. So if you're around those cities, don't worry, I'm not coming there.
You know what? I think that's very important, because I see a lot of people immediately going to virtual wholesaling. But they haven't even mastered wholesaling in general in their own city.
No.
If you don't know what's in your backyard, how do you know what's in someone else's backyard? I think that's very, very important for a lot of people, is focus on your backyard, or at least get good at your backyard. Do what's really well, let people know who you are. And then once you get good at that, you can kind of take that same premise and move it. But I mean, someone like yourself that's like, hey, I'm in my yard and it works. I'm not going anywhere else and I don't need to. I think that's very important.
Yeah, because you know your buyers are going to beat you up on ARV, and they're going to beat you up on price, and they're going to beat you up on this and that. You know, they can't do that to me because I know my business. I know what I'm talking about. When I present
Yep.
numbers, I keep it as lean as possible. And you know, very often I get phone calls saying, "Hey, your ARV is incorrect," and I go, "Oh, here we go again." You know, but it's incorrect in a good way. They're like, "Your ARV is about 40 grand off," and I'm like, okay, maybe I should have asked for more money.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like to, you know, what is that saying? Under promise and over deliver,
Yes.
like that. You know, I love doing that with people. You know, I love building rapport with people, you know, breaking the ice. And you probably can tell from our conversation right now that I am a people person.
Definitely. Oh yeah. Oh, 100. And I mean, you come from car sales. You got to be, right?
Yeah. No, yeah.
If you aren't a people person, you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And I think a really good thing that you mentioned too is, I mean, just knowing your numbers. You know your area. You know everything is going to be on point. Because I get a lot of people I see in different groups. They're like, hey, should I use the 70% rule? Should I use the 65%? Should I use the 80%? And I'm like, the formula doesn't really work everywhere because everywhere is different. I mean, for example, for me, you've been to Scottsdale, Arizona. Certain areas you can sell a lot for $600,000 with a house on it, and people are like, "Whoa, would you pay that?" And like, yeah, that's what because they're gonna tear it down. Who cares? That's all they care about. Whereas if someone else moved in here, they'd be like, "Yeah, I'll give you 400 grand for that lot." No, somebody will pay you $600,000 for that lot, no matter what it is. And I think that's very important. Is people are trying to use these algorithms and formulas only work in a controlled environment. Is my saying. Yeah. That's the only way it works. We don't have rats with particular millimeters we're giving them of different stuff. Like, it doesn't work. So everything's kind of fluctuating depending on that market that you're in.
No, I agree. I agree 100% with you. And, you know, golden nugget number 5. Are we on 5?
Yes.
5. So I'm sorry, man, I'm lost. Golden nugget number 5. I gotta start writing this down, right? This is why I need a scale, man. I only know numbers with.
Come Monday, you're gonna be like, "Yo, I did all this stuff in my business," and like, just because we started talking.
Absolutely. So golden nugget number 5 is don't get into analysis paralysis. Okay. So, you know, the biggest thing with new wholesalers, they'll come in and say, you know, should I do an LLC? Should I get business cards? What color is my cards going to be? Should I put my picture on it? Am I a realtor? You know what I mean? Come on, man.
I like the realtor.
Yeah, you know, you always got the.
Yeah.
So you know, I've seen so many wholesalers put their pictures, and I go, hey, that's a nice business card. Are you a realtor? No. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you put your face on there then? You know, hey, listen, I don't consider myself a good-looking guy, but my wife thinks I am, so I still don't want to put my face on my business card, right? But other than that, yeah, don't get into analysis paralysis. You know, just go out there and get a deal. Just get a deal done. Go out there, look for a deal. You know, and of course, you got to do your due diligence, which is very important. Don't just go out there and get something at top dollar, a high dollar, because that's what's happening right now in Houston. Is a lot of these new wholesalers, they're coming in and they're getting things at top dollar, and it's happening everywhere across the country. You know, they don't know what they're spending on the property itself, and then they're not writing the correct verbiage in their contracts. And next thing you know, I see a lot of on the forums. Oh, you know, I had an attorney call me. No wonder he's calling you because you messed up the contract.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. You found some dude on YouTube, you know, YouTube University, who told you, you know, oh, you need to put this, and this in the contract. Now you did it, and guess what? He's wholesaling California. You're in freaking Nevada. You know, it is what it is. So don't get into the analysis paralysis, guys. Just go out there and keep it simple. Keep it simple.
I think that's a big thing. And actually, I have a video that is exactly that. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And I think that's very important because I think people, they think of all the bad things that can happen on a transaction, all the good things, rather than thinking about that transaction and taking it step by step, which is huge, man. Because I've been in real estate on the loan side, and I could tell you millions of things that can go wrong with a loan, like stuff that you've probably experienced already, from title to all kinds of weird stuff. Everything could go wrong, but just deal with everyone one by one, and you'll learn how to deal with it, and it won't ever happen again. But take it step by step.
Absolutely. It's a process. And when you go through this, you're going to grow in the process. And that's what really is going to make you a good wholesaler, is you growing in this process. You won't learn from my mistakes. Yes, it's cheaper to learn from someone else's mistakes, but until you actually go through it, it's not going to hit you home. It's not going to hit home. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. And I think one thing that a lot of people don't look at too is, once you're learning this stuff, now you kind of become that go-to, maybe in your family or your friends, your network. Like, hey, I need to sell a house. Does this make sense? I need to do this. Does that make sense? And you probably see that too, is a lot of people are now coming to you and like, hey, Ron, I need help with my property. I need help understanding this. I need help with that. Now you're that. Not only are you a wholesaler, but now you're also kind of a financial advisor at the same time too, where you're helping people figure out their lives and I mean, kind of giving back at the same time, because you learn through all the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing, golden number 6. I'm gonna give you guys a good one.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm just dropping it, man. We're going at it because my thing is, with me personally, is I believe in the law of abundance. Okay, I don't hold anything back. I'm very transparent with myself, and my sellers and my buyers, and I'm transparent as a human being, right? So you got to make sure that when you're helping somebody, you got to have the intention to really help somebody. There's a lot of companies out there who will tell you to do this and do that, but they won't teach you. You come back home and you're fiddling your thumbs, right? Like, what do I do now? So I don't believe in holding back. But golden nugget number 6 was, man, you lost my train of thought.
We're dropping them, man. We're dropping them.
Yeah, no, we talked about analysis paralysis, and then if it comes back to me, I'll get back to it. We got to scale back to.
We'll make it, man. We'll make it. I think that's really good that you're very transparent, and actually, your goal is to really help someone. And I think that's one. And I'm actually dealing with the deal right now. I think we kind of chatted about it. That the other wholesaler is not exactly helping the person. They're not helping them by any means. They're just chasing after that dollar. And after talking with the lady, I'm like, hey, I can legitimately help you. Like, I want to help you. Just give me the chance to be able to help you, because it seems like whoever you're dealing with just wants the money. They're not trying to help you out of your
situation. I remember what I was going to say. So number 6, golden number 6 is learn from people who are actually doing the business right now. Okay, don't go to these, I don't believe in gurus because I'm not a guru, I'm a duru, right? That's a great way of putting it. You got to make sure you're talking to people who are durus, who are doing business today in your market, who are investing in real estate, who are wholesaling, because a lot of people will give you their 2 cents, but they really just haven't done it. I heard it from someone, and I ran into that when I was starting out. I would ask questions and people like, well, I haven't invested in like 6 years, but I think you should do this.
You know what I mean? 6 years, 6 years is a lot in real estate, man.
It is. 6 months is a lot in real estate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For me, it's every 6 months. It's every 6 months.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. You got to make sure you're talking to people who are gurus, not gurus, because people who are going out there in their market doing deals, I mean, they're going to tell you the correct information, as opposed to somebody who invested 20 years back, like Carlton. They have the Carlton sheets, you know what I mean? They got the 80-year-old guys. And I did his program too, by the way. So that tells you how long I was looking into real estate investing. I did that I think about maybe 14 years ago, something like that. And I got those books at home. I still have my books.
Do you? Oh, the back in my day. I think that's what they call it, right?
That's it. That's the back in my day. So, this is a process. So I didn't just wake up one day and I was like, what is wholesaling? What is real estate investing? I looked at this for a very, very long time, almost a decade, a little over a decade. I looked at this, and when the time is right, you will know when the time is right. You know what I mean? So, and that's just what it is. It was a lot of sacrifices that went into this, and it's not going to be easy, guys. So believe me, you won't hear this a lot from people, but like I said, I believe in transparency. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it.
And that's one thing I tell a lot of people that come to me. like, as I mentioned, the guy that was 7 days in, he was asking all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, man, like, you're 7 days in. I mean, most people are probably months, maybe even years, maybe even up to a year before they get their first deal. So you just have to understand the process. It's not easy. You got to put in work. And I think the biggest thing is being consistent. Whether you're consistently putting 2 hours a week or you consistently put in 40 hours a week, just be consistent at something, and then you'll gain results no matter what.
Did you say 40 hours a week?
40 hours, yeah.
I remember my 40-hour part-time job. I remember that.
Yeah.
I put about 85 to 100 hours a week.
Man, I mean, that's kind of one thing I actually like about wholesaling is that you can make good funds, good money without putting in the 40 hours per se. As you mentioned, you can take 2 weeks off and go on vacation, and your business is the way it is. It will run itself, right? You can do it. It'll run itself at scale. That you come right back into it, and all you're really doing is catching up to emails, right? And
it's really important to automate your business. Yeah, when you're going to get to a point in your life in your wholesale business where everything will just be automated, and that's where you want to be at. Absolutely.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a huge thing. Now I know we dropped a bunch of golden nuggets here on everyone, so I mean I think that's probably, and we kind of go on a lot of stuff. I guess for you, what have you seen as the most success that helped you skyrocket your business from going from doing 0 deals to now doing 4 to 6 deals a month? What was that change that happened?
So, a lot of that change came from my mindset. So mindset is very important in this business. I would say, you need to start changing your paradigm to start thinking big, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read that book, you need to get that book. That's a fantastic book. So it's a great, paradigm. It teaches you a lot about thinking big and whatnot. Another great book is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. So it's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. It's by Susan Jeffers. She's a PhD. Fantastic book. I read it when I was first starting out into the business. It was recommended by someone in the industry. So read a lot of books, grow yourself. I think it was more of a paradigm shift for me, because I was already doing the bandit signs, the driving for dollars, the direct mailers, and cold calling, and I don't door knock. Door knocking is not my thing, and nor have I ever say, hey, go door knock. I live in Texas. We love our guns in Texas. I don't want to get shot.
I'm in Arizona, man. Same way.
Yeah. So
very random.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I don't do that, and a lot of the properties that we're dealing in, they're not really $4 million homes, right? They're C class neighborhoods, and stuff like that. So, but I would, like I said, I do everything in the business that'll generate me revenue, except for the cold calling. I'm sorry, the door knocking aspect. Cold calling I was already used to because I was in the car business, so that was key. But other than that, you just got to go out there, and you're either going to put the money into the business to get a deal, or you're going to put sweat equity into the deal. That's golden number 7.
And I think we all have sweat equity to give, right? I think a lot of people out there, you're already giving sweat equity to someone else's business, 40 hours a week. If you put 5 to 7, 10 hours a week for your business, I think you'll see way better growth. Way better growth.
Man, I couldn't imagine, brother, and I'm going to level with you here. When I was in the car business, as a sales guy, I was making, 10, 15,000 a month, bringing in the money, but I was working the long hours. When I became a sales manager, my income dramatically changed, and it came down to like 5,500, 6,000 a month. You can't live on that type of money when you're in a certain lifestyle, right? And I was working double the hours. Right. So in this business, it's able to easily, afford you, the good lifestyle itself. So if you go out there and you hustle hard, you're going to make some pretty damn good money, man. I couldn't, I had never made more than 10, 13, 15 grand a month. But now when you start making you start making, 60, you start making, 65,000, 75 grand a month. I mean, it really changes, man. It really changes the perspective of doing business. And that's where your paradigm shift has to happen, is you got to be mentally prepared to be able to, control that type of money. because it's just like lotto winners. When people win the lottery, what happens? They go broke in the next 5 years, right? Because they don't know. It's that mental shift. So there's a method to my madness here, if you kind of notice.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's really good that people know, hey, you put in the work, you'll get it. I think that's one thing that sometimes gets missed a little bit is a lot of people, they think it's going to kind of just fall upon them. Yeah, some situations it happens that way, etc. But a majority or average, people are putting in work. People are out there doing what they need to do. There's a girl actually in my local town. I met her on one of the Facebook groups. She's putting out bandit signs. She's making cold calls. And I know she's working super hard. I got a deal before she did, but I know she's working very hard to get that one deal. And when she does get it, she's already put in the hard work. She's gonna, it's just gonna go tenfold from that. I mean, I'm a little bit of ahead, obviously, because doing my first deal, but the hard work is already there for her. She's already been through the grind. So once she gets that first deal, it's going to be skyrocket. And I'm excited to see it for her because it's going to be awesome. Her and my son go to the same school. So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
That's
going to be a fat check.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she's probably going to hit the 20, 30 grand check, whereas I hit like the 5 grand check on my first deal. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm like, I wish I would have taken like 2 more months of not getting that deal, you know? But I think that's very important, man. And definitely one thing I know you're very open to everyone having contact with you, being able to ask you questions. What are some good ways maybe people get in contact with you if they wanted to maybe plug you and ask you some questions, or even maybe do a JV deal with you on Houston?
Sure. Yeah, you can actually go. You can find me on Facebook, under Ron Rana, Imran Ron Rana, or you can email me at info at investopiaonline.com.
And I'll make sure I put that in the link for you guys too.
Yeah. Let's see here if you can see my shirt. It says investopiaonline.com. So it's just info at investopiaonline.com. That's a pretty badass name, huh, for a company?
Yeah, Investopia. You know what? Actually, one thing after just having one conversation with you prior to this, you being a very personable person, I got to say I definitely appreciate your time. And I'll definitely be out in Houston, and probably we'll probably have to. I know you like guns, so we'll be at the gun range. So that'll be
Texas,
number one.
It's Texas, right? So we gotta. I was never. This is kind of a little bit off topic, but I was never a gun person. I was kind of like, the blue, right? Oh no, no guns. I've got kids. My wife and I were unfortunately robbed at gunpoint in late February, at the end of February, and it was an aggravated robbery with a loaded weapon, and that changed my perspective. I mean, that was the longest 1 minute and 30 seconds of my life. The guy demanded my wallet. No one carries cash these days. I did not have cash on me, but him just doing that really changed our entire life. I mean, if something would have happened to me that day, I don't know what would happen to my kids or my family. And that's a driving factor, guys. And I'm going to go back to your why. Find your why. Why are you doing this business? Sit down tonight and take a piece of paper out and put, WHY. What's going to drive you in this business? Because there's going to be some days where you wake up and you're going to feel like not doing anything, but that why is going to push you over. It's going to say, you know what, I have to do this to feed my family. I have to do this to make a paycheck, or I have to do this for the lifestyle that I want to live, This is not the end for us, of course, because we're just, we've got a long way to go. Like they say, reach for the moon, land on the stars, or whatever that is. I mean, Elon Musk has sent a Tesla to space. So, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this world, and, you always want to break that barrier. I was reading a book the other day, talked about a man, I sincerely apologize, I forgot his name. He was the fastest runner on the planet, and then all of a sudden in like 40 years, someone broke his record. It was never done within 40 years. And then all of a sudden someone broke his record. The next year, someone broke that guy's record.
Crazy.
What happened there, right? It's a paradigm shift. Change your mind, and trust me, you guys will make money, man. Think positive. You got to believe in the law of attraction.
Yeah, man, that runner was like, hey, I mean, he probably heard for 40 years, hey, man, you can never beat this guy's record. You can never beat this guy's record. And then he's like, no, I can beat his record. And that's literally just believing in yourself. I think that's a really good thing for people. I mean, they kind of forget about that. I mean, we work the 40-hour-a-week job. We've done that. We've done the work for someone else's dream. And then once you kind of shift things and make it for yourself, you kind of have to give that click and just say, hey, I gotta do it because no one else is gonna do it, right? No one's gonna do it at all.
No one's gonna go out there and put food on your plate, guys. You got to go out there and hustle for it and believe in your dreams, and it's gonna work, man. It just you go out there and you do the work, and it works out. Trust me, I know, and I'm living proof of it, because wholesaling, real estate investing, this was all foreign language to me. I had no idea what I was doing. It really was, you know. I was like, man, how are these people making this money? It's crazy, you know, like. And then I'm stuck in my dead-end job and, you know, this and that, and a lot of things piling up and not having time with my family. You know, eventually a guy comes to terms and says, man, you know what, this is it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this regardless.
Yep.
I don't care what happens. Let the sun rise from the east or the west. I'm going to make this happen for me. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, I can relate to people in that way because, you know, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I was raised by a single mother. My father was in and out of our life. And I wanted a better lifestyle for myself and when I was growing up. And now that I have children, you know, especially you want to provide a better lifestyle for your family itself. So I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't come from a rich family at all. My parents are immigrants from Pakistan. They immigrated about 32 years back, and I'm one of, you know, four siblings. So, but my mother, who worked as a single parent, raised all of us. And it's such a blessing because now I can take care of my mother. She lives with me till this day. So, which is a fantastic, it's such a blessing. I'm able to take care of her in this, you know, in this aspect of life and say, Mom, it's going to be okay. You know, I got you. You know, we got you. You're going to be all right. You know, because old school mentality is the Social Security. When we get old, you and I and everyone else who's watching this, there's not going to be any Social Security left.
Heck no, not at all.
No, it's going to get depleted. So you got to go out there and, you know, the entrepreneurs of this country build, you know, the economy. So I heard that from a very, very successful gentleman, and it's true. It rings true that the entrepreneurs of this country, you know, build the economy, not the government, not anyone else. I mean, it is what it is. But once you get that paradigm shift, you're golden, man. I mean, it is what it is. But I do want to thank you for giving me the time for, you know, the sit down, and I appreciate it. If there's anything else that I can do for anyone out there, I would more than love to. Of course, I have my own priorities, and if you know, I do get about 18 to 30 messages a day. Trust me, guys, I do. I get flooded all the time, but I'm always on social media. I'm always on Facebook because that does bring business in one realm and stuff like that. So, but I will try to get to you guys as soon as I can. And if you're in the Houston area, don't feel shy, you know, to reach out to me. My email address, I'll say it again, is info@investopiaonline.com. So it's INVESTOPIA online ONLINE.com. So reach out to me. Let's make some money. Let's do some deals, baby.
Dude, hey man, you know what? I like I said, after speaking with you, I'm actually just gonna come out there and just hang out. Like if we run into each other, cool. If we don't, cool. And I gotta find that gun club that you went to because that place looks super nice.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna plug their name in right now because it'll be, you know, they owe me money then. But it's a nice gun club. It's a great tax write-off. I'm a member of a high-end exclusive gun club here in Houston, and you know, we love it. We mastermind there. I've got a few other wholesalers. Another buddy of mine who does about 7,000 bandit signs a month. It's crazy. Yeah. And then I have another guy. He's just one of our mastermind crew. And then I have another buddy of mine who is a beast at cold calling. I mean, they do dialing for dollars, and they dial and dial and dial. He does a couple thousand dials a month, just going out there hustling, you know, doing his thing. And we're all closing deals. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You want a bird of a feather flock together. So whenever you're ready to do it, you know, as far as growing in this business, you want to hang out with people who are doing it and moving and shaking in this business. So yeah, hang out with people who are doing this business and who can level you up in this industry, and you'll get there, man. You'll definitely get there.
Yeah, if you're around kings, you'll eventually become a king, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, so I think that's very important, man. Well, like I said, Ron, I greatly appreciate it. Not only because I get to know you, but everyone else, my audience, they get to know you. Potentially be able to maybe send you some deals that they're maybe having trouble with, or even just be able to gain some knowledge from this video, which I think is huge because as I mentioned to you earlier, I think a lot of people, they see the guys that are doing 40, 50 deals, something crazy a month, and someone that's obtainable, that's doing 4 to 6 deals, which is very obtainable. I think that'll go ahead and definitely build a lot more inspiration for people. So, man, I do greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate you having me on the call once again. You take care, and we'll talk later.
I'll see you, my man. Have a good rest of your night.
Take care. You too.
Later.